Question. So, how does a single person shop? How did they utilize a grocery haul to the maximum? Back in a minute. Hi, this is Jan from New York City, and my channel name is Jan from New York City Saves Money. I'd also like to think that I help you save time, effort, energy, and even once in a great while, a little bit of sanity. We're going to talk about something that, in my opinion, doesn't seem to get as much attention as maybe it could. Okay. We see a lot of videos that are extremely helpful, but many of them are geared for people in families of four, for example. But in real life, there are more families than families of four. Sometimes there's families of eight, sometimes there's families of five, and sometimes it's just a family of one. If you find yourself in that category of being in a family of one, let's talk about it. Okay. For example, does it really pay for a single person living alone to necessarily always get things from those big box stores, if you know what I'm trying to say? Sometimes it's just too much stuff and you just don't need it, and it changes everything. The rules definitely change when you go for grocery hauls if you're by yourself, shopping for yourself, as opposed to shopping for more than two, in a family situation or whatever situation, multiple people beyond two, for example. It is a game changer. Actually, shopping for two can be worked into as well with this. It depends on how great you guys are at communicating, and don't complain that I don't have enough, whatever. But mainly, this show is geared for the person who is by themselves and shopping for themselves. The rules have changed. Let's see, anybody out there, if you could offer some tips or tricks for the rest of us, if you live alone or if you just buy for yourself or whatever the situation is, please don't hesitate to enter them in the comments section below. So I have 10 tips that I believe make a lot of sense and actually that I personally utilize. So therefore, I can tell you from experience. Okay. Number one, buy things that are of single serve value, that are naturally single serve. I happen to enjoy yogurt. Okay. Yogurt is a food, it could be a complete meal. It's an easy breakfast. You could just grab and go. It's pre-served. It's there for you. You have to do absolutely nothing but open the container. If you want to splash a little bit of maybe a granola on top of it or whatever you like to crush on top of it, or just leave it as it is, get your favorite flavors of yogurt. Count how many times a week you plan on using it, because I happen to be a bean counter, therefore. So five a week would do it for me, because that is a very easy breakfast. Just saying, just saying. I know there are 7 days in a week, but maybe I want to alternatively have something else. But yogurt is a great grab and go. Okay. And pretty affordable. Okay. Considering all the nutrients, right? I think you're getting a good deal. Next, pick up a couple. Okay, first of all, let's square one thing. It's best, in my opinion, if you're a single shopper, to shop in weekly increments. But if you plan to shop for beyond weekly increments, then that's a little bit of a game changer. And don't buy too much fresh produce if you're doing the 2 week thing. Okay, just saying, just saying. All right. So next, speaking of produce, as I was going to say, pick up a couple of not too ripe bananas. They are inexpensive. They are nutritious, because we have to think of our health many times when we're so used to feeding an army, if you will, and then life changes. Kids grow up, they leave, empty nester. You may lose a spouse. This is real life, and we have to adjust accordingly. So it would make a lot of sense to get, if you're going to get your fresh produce, get fruits and vegetables that might last a little longer, like an apple, like things of that nature. I find that oranges, if you're not careful, can get moldy in a hurry lately. Don't ask me why. Maybe it's a New York thing. I don't know. But Don't overshop with the fresh produce if you live alone because you want to avoid food waste. So get a couple under ripened bananas is a great example, and a couple of apples. Apples seem to last. So be careful with that. You could buy a bag of that salad mix, for example, the one that's been washed 3 times or something like that. They say on the bag. That's very convenient. You don't have to do too much slicing, dicing, and chopping. And after a long day, maybe just want to throw a salad together, one, two, three. And while you're at it, just like pick up some cans of tuna fish or, boneless, the chicken in the can. You could do that and add that, or add some nuts or add some fruit, whatever it is that you like to do, especially in the summer. That's a great grab and sit down with meal. Excellent. Um, okay, next, frozen pre-cooked hamburgers like the one that I showed you the product review of the other day. Works great for me. Now, I have an air fryer, and it is a hot summer's night coming up today. The easiest thing for me to do is just take one of those burgers down. It's just for me, and just pop it in 13 minutes, voila, I am done. It is done. This is a great idea. Things that you could take out as you need them and kept frozen. So this is a great way to avoid food waste because we don't like food waste around here, and I'm certain that almost every one of my viewers don't like food waste. So therefore, all right, a freezing leftover bread. This is a great idea. For example, let's say that you use 2 slices a day. Okay. Now let's say that I'm just guessing, 20 slices in a loaf, just saying. Okay. Well, if you know that you're going to use about 14 slices that week, take out what you need and freeze the remainder. Not only will you be stocking up for an emergency for those times when you cannot get to the grocery store, and it is kind of difficult because, when you're alone, you're like the captain of your own ship all the time. And there are times you just can't get somewhere. So it's always a good idea to have a little bit of something like that in your freezer. And you know what? You could even like take out less than what you need and put more in the freezer because you could use it as you go along. There's no reason in the world why you can't take down a slice of frozen bread and pop it in your toaster, for example. You could certainly do that and use it as you go along. It avoids food waste and it also avoids money waste, which we definitely don't like to do. Dress up a can of condensed soup. What do I mean by that? If you have a can of condensed soup, which we know what that is, we know the major companies and the store brands, and they're all pretty darn good. But if you are living alone, if you're single, what you can do easily is just take one of your favorite canned soups and dress it up. Throw in some of your favorite add-ins, some of your favorite frozen vegetables, a handful of pasta, whatever you want. That is a complete meal. Team that up with a little bit of bread and a drink, you are done. Not complicated at all. Again, a nice budget saver. So consider something like that. You could throw in some rice, you could throw in some broken up spaghetti. It's really, really good. And speaking of pasta, pasta is definitely another go-to thing, especially when you're either living alone or with someone else. Take it out as you need it and utilize it. If you happen to make too much, it's not going to be a waste because that could be tomorrow night's pasta salad. So you just have to get creative. Again, avoiding food waste, but accommodating your single situation. And again, I love those pre-sliced packages of cheese. Use them as you go along. Like the Sargento line of cheese is so good. It stays fresh. You got that, open and close, envelope, plastic envelope, seal, or whatever you want to call it, packaging. And you take out what you need. For example, tomorrow for lunch, I'm going to make an air fried grilled cheese sandwich just by taking out a couple of slices of that, putting it on some whole wheat bread, popping it in my air fryer. No fat, no nothing on it. Just throw it in there for a few minutes. Mwah, voila, it is done. You avoid food waste and it is convenient. And since I am a bean counter, you get to count in advance how many sandwiches you can make depending on how much cheese you like. Um, okay, also, if you don't like shopping weekly, this is the time I suggest you pick up a few cans, like smaller cans, because it's just for you, smaller cans of fruit, smaller cans of veggies that you can work with. And certainly, if you find that, let's say, a bag of frozen mixed vegetables is on sale, that you can take out as you need it, again, this is good. So I feel that these tips will help. They have worked for me over time, and I know that they will work for you too. So, wishing everyone who viewed this video today an absolutely wonderful day. And if you think that this particular video may be of help to someone else, please share it. And I really do appreciate you. Have an amazing day, everybody. Take good care.